Hi there. I hope everybody's feeling safe and healthy. And I wanted to talk a few minutes about fossils. So I brought with me this trilobite fossil. All right, it's called trilobite because it has three parts. All right, one in the middle, and it has two parts on the end. And the eyes on this would be like about right here. I think about right there, right there. All right, but these fossils, these are animals that once roamed the seas, and they lived about over 500 million years ago, and they became extinct about 245 million years ago. That's amazing. But these things, these rocks could be over 245 million years old. All right, and the animal that it represents is extinct now, but it tells you some clues about what life looked like on the Earth over 250 million years ago. So it's kind of like a puzzle piece. All right, how are fossils formed? All right, I'm going to read a page from this book, Fossil Detective. And fossils, they're not really actual bones, right? They're really minerals. What is a fossil? Fossils are the remains of living things preserved in rock. They can tell us about life of the past. They are formed when plants or animals are buried soon after they die. The soft parts of the animal, such as skin and muscle, are usually eaten by bacteria and other single-celled animals. Only the hard parts, such as teeth, bones, or shell, remain. The minerals from the surrounding area help preserve these parts and change them into stone. So what happens here? It's a four-part process. Right, the animal dies, and fossils are usually sea-living creatures. And what happens is the body's usually covered by silt, by sediment, such as mud and sand and small rocks. And then over many years, what happens is minerals seep through the skeleton, and that skeleton of bone changes to rock, becomes minerals. It happens over many years. And then what happens next is there's geological uplift. All right, there's things like earthquakes and landslides. And then when it comes up to the top, there's also erosion. The rock is worn away by wind and sand and rain. All right, and so eventually that fossil comes to the surface of the earth where it might be found by a geologist or even by you. All right, most fossils are formed from creatures that once lived in water. These creatures sink to the bottom of the seabed or river bottom when they die and are usually covered with silt. Fossils are usually the remains of animals without backbones, because in any environment, these make up the majority of living things. What are animals without backbones called? If you answered invertebrates, you would be correct. Most fossils are millions of years old because they take a very long time to form. Geologists date them by seeing which fossils were in very different layers of rock. The fossils in lower layers would be older than the fossils in layers above. Right, that's something that we studied before. Geologists date them by seeing which fossils were in different layers of rock. Right, what's that called? If you answered relative dating, you would be correct. Today, geologists also search rocks for radioactive minerals, which help them to work out the age of the fossil, of the rock, and therefore the age of the fossil. All right, and when scientists use radioactive minerals, what do they call that? If you answered radioactive dating, you would be correct. All right, I hope you enjoy reading about fossils. This book is called Fossil Detective by Joyce Pope. If you ever get the chance at your local library, right, check that out, or check out another book about fossils, because they are truly amazing, because they're like a puzzle piece, and they can tell you about what life looked like on Earth many millions of years ago. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.